And our position as a party is that we expect more of this government, and not just our party. Nigerians' expectations are higher than the fate that has befallen us as a people. And that's why we say we believe that the government, the federal government, the APC-controlled federal government, needs to do more than setting up a federal government committee. We don't even believe in that federal government committee.
Mr. Kola, we've seen in the past few days, we've now seen a timeline where on each day this has happened, and that has happened. I believe it was just within the last 2 days where we saw, of course, the Chief of Air Force Staff has gone, Chief of Air Staff rather, has gone to Yobe, has relocated. We have seen the Minister of Interior direct the IG and the Civil Defense Chief to go there to cover all of the schools. Do you believe that these steps...
Well, we have not seen the President Muhammad Buhari, going to Dapchi to sympathize with the parents.
I want to finish my question, please.
Okay.
Do you believe that those steps, what more should be done in addition to those steps? Because really, essentially what you're alluding to is this idea that there has not been a response. So I'm saying, given those steps, what more can be done?
What can be done is for the security chiefs to go back inwards and devise a strategy that can lead to this arrest. When you send a Minister of Interior, though he's a retired general, to Dapchi, but he's a civilian, to go and do what? When you send your Minister of Information to Dapchi, to go and do what? Well, you said the Chief of Air Staff is now in the northeast region, but until they bring back our daughters, what is doing it pales into insignificance as far as we are concerned. And we believe that our security agencies need to be more strategic in its approach. They need to gather more intelligence, and they need to work with each other. Actually, look at what happened. Perhaps this girl would not have been taken this far if there were no distortions in the information that came out immediately the incident happened. Even when the governor of the state, the chief security officer, Governor Gaydam, came out and said that the military withdrew its troops from the area before the attack, the first reaction was to dismiss it, until it became glaring to Nigerians and to those who were dismissing it that they could not dismiss the chief security officer. That's when they made a U-turn to now admit that, or they now admitted that, oh, yes, we withdrew troops to other areas because we handed to the police. The police said is embarrassing. The situation we have today is truly embarrassing, because the security agencies are supposed to be working in concert.
Well, Mr. Lagwe, a lot of Nigerians will not be able to fault that the situation indeed is embarrassing. We're beginning to get all of this, blame trading. But then the question is, can your party really criticize this government in all good conscience over the, insecurity situation that we found ourselves in? Isn't your party going to bear part of the responsibility for the situation that we have found ourselves?
How do we bear? You have to be definitive about that. How do you want us to bear responsibility for what has happened? Are we in government? You said when we were in government that Chibok girls were taken, and I said it had never happened to us in government.
Okay, that's...
I will clarify that.
Okay, clarify, please.
Yes, because first and foremost, this insurgency, started underneath the watch of your party, became a full-blown insurgency under the watch of your party. Yes. In many instances, the arms and ammunition that ought to have been bought to ensure that this was tamed wasn't bought under the watch of your party.
I don't agree. I don't agree with you.
Just a moment. I'm not done with my question. Okay. When you talk about containment, we have not heard that the girls were taken in another state. They were taken in Yobe State, where the crisis has been contained to. In fact, interestingly, Dapchi is one of the very few communities, from what we understand, that had not faced any attack up until this moment when the girls were taken away. So when you look at all the things that had happened, when you look at the background, when you look at can your party come out in all good conscience and say, well, this government, you're doing worse than we did?
Why can't we? Why can't we?
Can you in all good conscience
why can't
say
we?
that?
If you made a promise to Nigerians and you were elected, believing that you had come to, as a matter of fact, eradicate insurgency. Because that was the picture you gave to the world. That as a retired general who had fought in the Civil War, you had the capacity to eradicate insurgency.
And in fairness,
I allowed you
yes,
to make my
would you say, just a moment, I'm allowed to interrupt you if you're, I just want you to add this to it.
Okay.
Would you say that they are eradicating insurgency? Would you say that they're doing...
With the abduction of 110 of our daughters, they're eradicating insurgency? With the abduction of 110 of our daughters, with a new dimension of marauders killing on a killing spree, you say they're eradicating insurgency? Or they're eradicating violence with an unwitnessed level of division in the history of our nation? You would say this government has done better than any other government? Is that what you are saying, Maokwe? You think Nigerians will agree with you?
I'm simply asking
I disagree absolutely with your disposition
just a moment,
on this issue.
Just a moment. Before the abduction of those girls, we had a situation where even when people criticize, they say, oh yes, the farmer herdsman crisis has given this government a new security challenge, on its hands. But before that time, a lot of people acknowledged that they had done pretty well in taming Boko Haram in the northeast.
Look,
is it something, I'm simply asking if it's something you agree with.
When you talk about taming of Boko Haram to the northeast, it started with the last administration before the APC government came in. So you cannot just erode that fact and keep talking about containing Boko Haram to the northeast. It started with the last administration.
So have they continued? Have they continued the work that you started? If you say that it started
it started with the last PDP government.
With the PDP
yes,
government.
It did.
Have they continued? That's the question I'm asking you. Do you acknowledge that they have made more progress from where you left?
What happened in PDP government that had not happened under this government? Military bases were attacked. Excuse me, Ajuri. Military bases were attacked under the PDP government. Abduction of Chibok girls happened. Dapchi girls had also been abducted. So when you talk about containment by this government, I do not understand what you are saying.
Okay.
And also don't forget that, like I said earlier, the level of killings in our country today is unwitnessed in our history. It is not. We haven't seen a situation like this